Greetings everyone. Tonight I'm here to talk to you about the upcoming lunar and solar eclipses of August of 2017. Now with these eclipses, there's going to be a lot going on astrologically, spiritually, and energetically. But right now I'd like to stick to the basics and keep things simple. So what does this all mean? Well, first we need to understand as above, so below. What's going on in your outer world is reflective of what's going on in your inner world, and vice versa. And the ancients understood this, and this is where we get astrology. What's going on in the planets, and the moon, and the sun, and the stars is reflective of what's going on with you. We just need to be able to understand this language and see how it pertains to us. So here I'm going to briefly and simply go over this. So before we go into the meaning of the eclipses, let's look at what the sun and the moon represent to us. So the moon, this is like our subconscious, what's hidden from us, what we may be unaware of. This could be our dark side, this could be our shadow, this could be our unconscious. This just has to do with something we're unaware of. This is something deep within us that for whatever reason has been suppressed or hidden, and we need to dig deep and look within ourselves and bring this to the surface and work through it and deal with it. And this is the deep inner part of ourselves. Then on the other end, there's the sun. This represents our light, our shining light, our purpose, our expression, who we are, the self. This could also be the conscious and the part that we project out into the world. Now this can be very complicated, so bear with me. This whole dynamic works on many different levels. Now the moon and the sun, they also can tell you a lot about yourself by the position as to where they are. Now what astrological signs they're by, what planets they're near, and what they're doing in the sky at a particular moment. Now this is especially true with the phases of the moon. And this is going to tell us a lot about what's going on with these eclipses. So I'll start with the full moon. Now when we have a full moon, the moon is the biggest it'll ever appear in the sky. This represents a certain part in your life, like an issue, at its strongest point, as big as it's going to get. So at this part, during the full moon, keep in mind what's going to be following the full moon. What happens to the moon in the days immediately following the full moon? Well, the moon begins to get smaller. Now this represents the issue getting smaller or going away. This is an excellent time following the full moon, when the moon is getting smaller, when you may want to do a cleansing or a clearing, or if you want to get rid of something. Then you have the new moon, which represents a new beginning, something in its infancy. And so from there, immediately following the new moon, what does the moon do? Well, it gets bigger. So this is the time when you really want to create something, when you really want to manifest something, where you want to build something. You want to do this immediately following a new moon. So we know that lunar eclipses always fall on a full moon, and solar eclipses always fall on a new moon. So with a lunar eclipse, what's happening is you have an issue or some part of your life which is most likely hidden to you subconsciously, something deep within you, and this issue has built up as big as it's going to be. And you have the earth blocking the moon's light, shadowing it, creating a shadow over it, something blocking this subconscious issue from coming to the forefront. So you have a blockage, something in your life, as the earth, being that which is casting the shadow, is representative of your life. The earth is your life. The sun is you, projecting the self out into the world, and the moon is the part deep within you. So you have something in your life getting in the way of you bringing a much needed issue to the surface and dealing with it. Now, where the moon is during this lunar eclipse tells us a lot. It's actually in the Aquarius constellation. Now, Aquarius, it's all about the group. It's all about society. It's all about other people. So this lunar eclipse, what it's doing, it's telling us that there's something within the subconscious pertaining to society, to other people, our relationship with other people, our relationship to the world, our relationship with each other, and issues that we have there. Now, these issues are going to be different for everybody, but as a whole, this is what's going to be affected in each and every one of us, and how we, as individuals, deal with society and other people and our outer world. Now, everybody is going to be dealing with this issue on one level or another, in one way or another, and how you deal with this issue, how it fits you, it really depends on you and where you're at with this issue. But this is the focus of this lunar eclipse. It is something within you, a subconscious part of you, an issue that you have, and how you relate to the world, how you relate to other people, how you relate to society. So during this lunar eclipse on August 7th, 2017, that's where the focus is. That's really where you should focus, is how do I relate to the world? How do I deal with other people? How do I fit into society? What is my part in society? Where is my level of balance between myself as an individual, my individuality, and my place in society? Now, this could be tough. This may not be easy because, well, you're dealing with the shadow, you're dealing with the unconscious, you're dealing with stuff that you're not even really aware of, stuff within you, feelings, issues. You're also dealing with a blockage, something that's getting in the way. This is going to take some really deep work, some deep meditation, some deep shadow work. You're really going to have to look down deep here. You're really going to have to do some strong, some powerful spiritual work. Not only on this eclipse, but in the days preceding it and following it. Really be focusing on that during this lunar eclipse. Look for help. Don't be afraid to ask any spiritual teachers you know, or even discuss this with friends, this issue. So this Aquarian issue of relating to other people, of being in society, of what's going on in your life, what's affecting that? Are you in balance with this issue? And how you relate to yourself and other people, and how much you give to yourself and other people, on how much you love yourself and other people. But then we have the solar eclipse on August 21st, on the new moon. And what it's looking like to me from this is it almost works itself out, this issue. Because, well, first of all, this solar eclipse is happening in the constellation of Leo. Well, Leo has to do with self-expression, of being the self. You know, this is the look at me, this is the show off, this is the expression. You're putting on a show, you're being you, you're the center of attention. That's Leo. So this is the self. Could be a sense of purpose, really strong expression. And Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun itself also represents these types of things. And then you have it eclipsed by the moon. But what's going on here is it's a new moon, which usually is not visible, is being visible. And the only time a new moon is visible is during an eclipse, during a solar eclipse. So you have something unconscious being brought into the conscious and being expressed. Perhaps this is aspects of the self. Perhaps this is an awakening of the self. A projection, you being you, pulling out parts of yourself, expressing parts of yourself that you didn't even know were there. Now remember, this solar eclipse is happening during a new moon. And what does a new moon represent? A new beginning, a new creation, something manifesting. Another thing about the new moon, giving it really strong manifestation powers, is during a new moon, the moon is in between the sun and the earth. Even when it's not a solar eclipse, it's between the sun and the earth, and it's pulling you on the earth. Its gravity is pulling you. Both the sun and the moon are lined up, and your gravitational pull during this time is greater than any other time. So what it can do then is pull those desires out of you with a stronger gravitational pull than at any other time. And that's why this is an excellent time to focus on manifesting. So, now getting to my final point, on August 7th, you have the lunar eclipse in the full moon in Aquarius, focusing on an issue pertaining to your relationship with other people. How much you love other people, how much you hate other people, whatever it is, this is your relationship with others, your relationship with society. And then, in the same lunar cycle, on August 21st, you have the solar eclipse in Leo, dealing with the self, expressing the self. This is all about your relationship to yourself. How much you love yourself, or maybe you don't love yourself. But this is how you relate to yourself. So really, the whole deal that comes with this lunar cycle, both this lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, has to do with your relationship with yourself and other people, and balance in there. Loving yourself and loving other people, and that balance between your world and yourself. You know, maybe not being a narcissist and being all about the self, or not being a doormat and being all about other people. About finding balance in there. And I think all of us fall somewhere on that spectrum. And this lunar cycle, for us, is really about where do we fall on that spectrum? Are we in balance? And what can we do to get in balance? That balance between our relationship with ourselves and our relationship with the world. This is big, this event. And this is going to affect each and every one of us in our own way. It's going to affect our communities. It's going to affect our nations. It's going to affect our world. This is going to be a major event. This is going to affect us at the deepest levels of our soul. It's going to affect our relationships, our family, our communities, our nation, our planet. This is big. This event coming up in August is going to be huge. It's going to affect our entire planet and our entire history. So start now, working on yourself, on the deepest aspects of yourself, on your issues, especially pertaining to your relationship with yourself. Really work on self-love, true self-love, as well as love of others around you, of your relationships. And really pay attention to where you are with this and where your balance is with this. Really work on attaining balance with this. Find your place, find your bliss, what makes you happy, what is your joy, who are you? Live your bliss, live your purpose, and also find out what your place is in society and live it and be that completely. Be you, whole and complete. This is something we all deal with anyway on our path, on our soul growth, on our journey. This is this balance between self-love and love of the world and love of others. This is something that we deal with anyway. So this particular time, this particular celestial event, the energy is right for you to focus on that. So work on it. Take advantage of this energy. Take advantage of this time and attain this. And I promise you, the reward will be greater than anything that words can express. And this energy actually extends beyond this lunar cycle in August. It goes from July 23rd until January 31st of 2018. So really bask in this energy. Ride this energy. Ride this wave. Let your beautiful inner light shine. Thank you for watching. Namaste.